Greetings. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Sacred Heart Awakenings channel of my YouTube channel. I am so happy to greet you on another video of Love Wisdom Share. Did you know that when it comes to that often we seek another partner to fill our need to be loved? And this is a common recurring type of unhealthy relationship known as codependency. And it's a need to be needed. So wanting to be needed by someone else. So the other one filling in a gap of something that's needed inside of you. So it just becomes a love dependency. So in this message, I would like to share about codependency, as well as a message from Archangel Michael towards the end of this video in relation to codependency and relationships in general. Archangel Michael is all about soul purpose, and so I would like to relay his message to you and share that wisdom in the hopes that it will help you. So for those who are tuning in first time, I am Monica Bermudez. I am an intuitive self-love energy healer. I'm very passionate about the heart. I am a heart repair, heart activator, and heart catalyst. And so I'm very passionate about helping conscious men and women to break free from karmic and ancestral patterns that get entwined and entangled throughout the different parts of the heart that prevent it from staying open, and just live a path of joy and tune in more into the healthy relationships, because that is what we deserve to be in, these healthy relationships. And I do channel light language, so I use my own energy source to channel in this light language of these different energy codes to assist with the cycles of the patterns that are buried within the cells of the DNA, the atomic level. So it's a very transformative energy, which I'll share in another video about more on light language. But that's really what it is. They're energy codes to reprogram the cells, just from a brief overview of it. So in this video, as an overview, first we'll talk about the 9 signs or clues of being codependent and ways to support with this codependency tendencies to help you break that cycle or that pattern of it. And then towards the end, I'll have a message to relay from Archangel Michael to you. So codependency, I never realized, speaking of my own personal journey, my own personal life and experience when it came to romantic relationships, I didn't realize that I had this so-called codependency and that I have been attracting so many unhealthy relationships in my life. For example, when I had my divorce, which was the most intense, emotional, dark night of the soul, and it was just very triggering at so many levels, because it led me on this path to realize and reflect and meditate on all the relationships I used to have, all my romantic relationships. And I realized that how much of the codependency there was inside of me, which I started to heal inside of me with working with light language, which then led to the activation of my own light language, which that's another story in itself. So that's why now I love to share these signs of the codependency, so that you understand if you're going through this pattern, this situation, what's happening to you, or what's happening to someone else you may know that's going through this as well. So the 9 signs, number 1, it's the need to fix a person. So you feel as though you want to be a savior for that person, to help them with some kind of addictive behavior or some form of, addiction they may have, smoking or alcohol. And behaviors could be bipolar or some other type of behavior that's a disorder type behavior, in other words. So it tends to, if you're one, who likes to seek, a person to fix them or be a savior, it's almost like one is being the caregiver and the other one is being the one with the addiction. And so there's a bit of this attraction to each other, which is unhealthy in a way, because it's just that you're there holding this relationship because you feel that you need to help fix this person with whatever addiction they're going through. And the number 2 is the constant reassurance seeking. So this ties in with the low self-esteem or the unworthiness pattern that many do suffer when it comes to these toxic or unhealthy relationships in our life. And I, for one, was one who also suffered a lot from it. And so this is one of the areas that I really had to really work on myself to clean up, and the whole self-image. So in this, number 2 is constantly seeking the approval or pleasing other people in a way to get the reassurance of giving you value, of who you are, but seeking it externally rather than seeking it inside. So getting that worthiness from other people, or that validation, in other words. And number 3, don't know how to say no. So you become, like if you become, say, a caregiver, then you're always a giver. And so it's very hard for you to say no. And it creates this very unhealthy boundary in your life that just becomes so draining, and it just brings down your energy completely, and it just oversaturates you completely as well. And number 4, the need to feel in control. So this one is the way to control the relationship being together is by avoiding any type of conflict, or just afraid to confront the person, and just letting it, it's almost like walking on eggshells, just not wanting to talk to them about the feelings or what it is that you're feeling. So you just keep your feelings buried to yourself, just to avoid any type of conflict with that person and to keep the relationship that's ongoing. So there's that bit of that codependency there for that, because you want to stay within the relationship, the need to stay in it, to help you in your dependency of the need to love, to be loved. So number 5, do anything to hold to the relationship together. That means that even risking your own health and doing all these things that would just put yourself in this other risk and putting the other before yourself. I know for me, I did a lot of this because I just lost touch with my own health, and I ended up gaining more weight when I had, before the relationship, was very active and very much into the health of keeping my weight management. And so but there was also this underlying factor as well with stress, because stress does prevent someone from losing weight. And so there was a lot of anxiety and stress based on the signs that we just discussed. So one of them, not knowing how to say no, trying to avoid certain conflict or certain, fears of confronting the other person. And so all of that stress also just prevents someone from losing weight. But going back to the point that we're talking about, if, for instance, you know that you can't eat certain food, but then you end up in some ways eating it anyway because you're stress eating, in other words, stress eating disorder. So it just becomes so unhealthy, and you go, all over the place just to sustain this relationship, to make the other one happy and just do things that you would normally not do. So in other words, you would just get yourself out of phase of whatever healthy food you're having. You probably just stop having that healthy habit of your food, the way you're eating, in other words. Or you get influenced by the other because of some type of peer pressure in some ways. So there's also this factor with that point is the fear of abandonment and rejection. So there is also a fear of being abandoned if this relationship is not together. And so that's the other reason why you will do anything to keep the relationship together. Number 6, you want to be valued because you need someone to value who you are. So this also ties in with the low self-esteem and the unworthiness that we had talked about before, and getting reassurance and seeking reassurance. So it's really just not trusting yourself, which leads to number 7. You have a hard time trusting yourself, and so you are dependent on someone else to, say, make decisions for you, or to be there for them because you feel that you need to help them in some way. So you end up in this trap of codependency. So in a way, you both need each other, you see? And so it's codependency on both sides, because the other one has an addiction on something that they feel they can get support from you on. And likewise, you feel that you can fix this person, that you can feel valued and feeling worthy because you're there to help fix them or heal them from whatever it is they're going through. And number 8, you have a hard time knowing or identifying your own feelings. So this, gets so focused on the other one and how they're feeling. So you just care about making them happy or pleasing them, that you forget about your own feelings. And you just, in other words, keep them buried inside of yourself. And just in a way, that also is abandoning yourself by keeping your own feelings buried. And so then that creates this whole pattern of this whole abandonment as well, because what's internal to us is a mirror to the external world. So if you're abandoning yourself, it's also telling the universe that you're seeking to be abandoned in some ways. And so that's really how the mirror works. Number 9, you have a tendency to attract other partners who do have some form of addiction, where you have the need to be there because if you help them, then they will love you. And if you keep giving to them, they will love you. So that, that's a misconception or an unhealthy relationship way, because it's only a one-way type relationship rather than a two-way relationship. And so oftentimes what I feel personally is that for many who are on the path to be a light worker, there is a lot more of this codependency in them because they feel that they need to be a healer for this other person and helping them heal or get out of whatever addiction they're going through. And so it's confused as being love, that you're attracted or caring for this person and that you love them, hence you're there to care for them. And in some ways, that's true, you do love them, but you're also neglecting yourself. So when it is of a two-way healthy relationship, it's really of a giving and receiving form between both parties. So each of you help each other grow, and spiritually in so many ways, and helping each other learn from each other. And that is a healthy way to be. It's not about one giving more than the other. It's not one just being the caregiver and the other one just receiving, but it's more of what I just said about each other, being in balance with each other and supporting each other in different ways and learning from each other. So I do feel that many light workers or many people who are waking up are going through this type of pattern of codependency, where they're, trying to please everybody else just to make everybody happy so that you can avoid any form of conflict or any fear related to abandonment, fear of being rejected. But really, the core of all that, the core of all your love and essence is inside of you. And it all starts within the heart, because the heart is the foundation of all your whole body. And I'm speaking at the energetic type of the heart, the whole chakra center, which includes the physical heart as well. But it's really starting to care and to give yourself the self-love and the need that you need, which leads us into the support areas and ways to support, with this codependency. Number one, you want to start spending time with yourself to get to know yourself more, such as through meditation or writing your feelings or reflecting on life questions or all your relationships, and start to notice all the patterns in your relationships and where it all ties into what you may feel as either being ancestral or being karmic. But your soul and your whole intuition knows what it is that you need to learn from that. And number two, start creating healthy boundaries. So you definitely want to start seeing what areas in your life you need to start learning how to say no, but saying no, of course, in a loving way, not in a harsh, way that would cause some kind of war. So there's ways to say no in a very, loving way. And love is a very strong force by itself. So it doesn't have to be warlike, in any way for that. So number three is get help, whether it be with a friend or some healer that you connect with to help you and assist you going through these patterns and breaking those cycles that are inside of you so that you can create healthier relationships in your life. And also calling in your guides, because they are willing to support you in so many ways, and especially the angels such as Archangel Michael and other angels you may resonate with. And speaking of Archangel Michael, and here's a message to share from Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is all about soul purpose, right? So one of the things that I've been learning from Archangel Michael is how all these relationships, now that we're in this physical world, that we live in this world of duality and polarity, it's just, asking about why so many of the unhealthy relationships out there. And one of the things that I've been learning from Archangel Michael is that there are many soul purposes in us and one of them is related to the relationships that we have here on earth, where we learn from each other. And it's part of a soul contract, soul agreement before being born, where we agree that we will meet or be with certain such people to learn from them and grow from a certain lesson that came from a past life that we needed to clear, and a certain pattern from that. So, but the one thing is that it's not really just because the relationship is really unhealthy doesn't mean that you have to stay out of fear. So there's a form that Archangel Michael wants you to know to trust your gut feeling of something when a relationship feels that it's dying at its end. It's because you're being directed into what it is your new soul purpose in your life. And oftentimes there are many Like he was saying that the many soul purposes, or the many soul purposes in your life that you have, accumulate to form the next level of the soul purpose that you come to serve. So in a way, this clears the path so that you gain the clarity of what it is that you come to serve in the next phase of your life. So in a way, relationships also serve as a wake-up call to get you to the next level. It's almost like graduating from your studies, right? If you look at it from an analogy of school or college, and you go through certain exams and certain tests, and every test that you score a certain score, then you pass to the next level. And you, in that next level, you also learn something new and expand from that, and you come to serve in a certain capacity, in a certain form. And you're all worthy of having the healthy relationships. You're all worthy of serving this soul purpose. And that is what Archangel Michael wants you to know too, that you are worthy. So you are here to serve your soul purpose. So ways that you can start learning about your soul purpose is the clues of things that you're attracted, that you like to do. Could be some aspect of a certain hobby that you have on the side that may not necessarily be the work that you're doing at the moment as a profession. But what is it that gives you joy? What is it that brings you life, motivation, that drive? And those are clues that help you know what it is that is your life purpose. So that's one way to know. And so Archangel Michael also says that when you go through your meditation, please call upon him to assist you in helping you also intuitively understand your soul purpose and the work that you come to do here on this planet. Because right now it's a very important time for us as we are shifting and going through these changes of times. We're in 2020, and there have been some major changes going on in the whole planet. New systems being formed, new structures of the earth. And so we must do everything in our power to work with our intuition so that we gain that clarity in ourselves and what we come to do. So everything that I just shared, that, learning this from Archangel Michael is what really happened to me. And going and realizing about all this codependency and the signs is that it led me to what was my own heartbreak, led me into the path of my own spiritual awakening, into this soul purpose and messages that I now relay and share with you through these videos in my channel. And so I just wanted to say that, if there's anything you need, you have the support, you have the resources, and you have your guides, you have Archangel Michael supporting you. So no matter what it is that you're going through life right now, through relationships or some other issue, you have more support than you realize. So that's just reminding you of that. So I hope that all these messages have helped you, and I look forward to hearing your comments. So please share and comment below. And also below in the description, I have a free gift for you that is called The 9 Signs Your Heartbreak is a Spiritual Awakening in Disguise. And so this is just a guide to assist you with knowing what's going on with you with this whole heartbreak process, which is exactly what happened to me. And I hope that it helps you understand what is going on with a heartbreak when you're going through these changes and navigating through life with a relationship or romantic relationship. And so that's really what all ties into Archangel Michael's message about your soul purpose and relationships, and the triggers, the relationships cause in your life. And truly, we're meant to be love, and we're meant to be joy, which means that we're meant to have healthy relationships, because that is the path forward on the new earth that we're building, to live with healthier relationships where we support each other, where we uplift each other, where we build more communities of unity, communities of love, communities of joy. So I'm wishing you all so much love. And I am just so grateful to share this message with you with so much love. And I do hope that it's helped you. So just a reminder to please subscribe to my YouTube. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next video. So much love to you. Take care. Namaste.